I used to get letters from people, and if it was a negative letter, it would bother me, and I would think about it, and I would respond to it, and I would try to defend myself. And if I got a bad review of all the books, I've written many, many books and produced a lot of things, and I've spoken on a lot of places, and sometimes the review is great. As a matter of fact, when one of my books came out, I was in San Francisco, and the editor there took it apart and just tore it apart, did a whole half a page on how terrible this book was. The same day in Cincinnati, in the Enquirer, on the opposite side of the country, was a review saying what a terrific, great book this was. And which one am I going to respond to? Which one do I choose? When someone sends me a really negative letter about something that I've done, I usually send them back 3 or 4 positive letters, and then I'll send them theirs. I'll say, now, if you were me, which one would you pay attention to? And what I've learned is that I've gotten to a point now where the negativity is just something that I expect. I'm not at all surprised by it. I know when I speak to an audience of several thousand people that there's going to be some who are not going to agree with and like what I'm saying, very much like what I'm saying right here in this tape right now. There will be people who will listen to this and they will find fault with it, and that's fine. And what I tell them is go out and produce your own tape and to go out and market it and sell it and see how you do with it. That's fine. There's room. This is a free world, and you've got the opportunity to do that very thing. What I don't do any longer with even the negative reviews is get myself immobilized or depressed by it. I accept that I am going to run into disapproval on a regular part of my life, and I've accepted that the people who love me the most are going to give me the most disapproval. Your parents, your brothers and sisters, your husband, your wife, your siblings, which is the same as your brothers and sisters, isn't it? Your coworker, people who care about you are going to sometimes disapprove, and sometimes they're not going to disapprove. My wife and I don't agree on about 50% of the things that we do in our lives. She has a certain way of running things. I have a certain way of running things. But I don't let her disapproval immobilize me, and she doesn't let my disapproval immobilize her. We've gotten to the point where we understand that we are different, that she's unique and that I'm unique, and that we're entitled to that. And instead of making that a place of contention, we've gotten to a point in our lives where conflict and confrontation are not things that we want for ourselves any longer. That we don't want to have that experience on a regular basis of always being upset and angry and hurt over all of the kinds of little things that tend to really ruin relationships. So rather than have that conflict and that confrontation and that pain and the anguish and all of that goes with that, what you do is you shift that and you say, you know, you don't agree with me and I understand that, and that's fine. And if I don't need to have her agree with me, if I don't need her approval, if I want it but I don't get it, that's fine. But if I need it and don't get it, then I'm going to get angry and I'm going to blow up and I'm going to have this. So it's like I instead of expecting approval for everything that I say and do everywhere in the world, including with my children and with my brothers and sisters and all of the people in my life, instead of that, I expect some disapproval. As a matter of fact, I expect it about half of the time. And when I get it, I'm not surprised. And when I'm not surprised, I don't get myself worked up. When I don't get worked up, I have become emotionally mature then. I have been able to handle the kinds of things that come my way in the area of disapproval. And you're going to run into it a lot in your life. And one of the things that you might do is tell yourself over and over and over again, well, I've always been this way. I grew up on needing approval, and as a little boy or a little girl, I was always this way, and I'm still that way today. And that's something you want to eradicate from your life and begin to and understand that this is not something that is imposed upon you. It is not natural. It's not human nature to be an approval seeker. It is not only human. It is only neurotic to be doing that. And you have the choice, always, I will say over and over and over again, as you listen to this tape, you have the choice. When someone says something to you that you dislike, when someone behaves in a way towards you that you find offensive, you have the choice in how you're going to process that. You are a processor of life. You must not turn the controls of your life over to somebody else in the form of approval seeking and telling yourself that you have to have it. Now remind yourself, being approved of is wonderful. We all like it. It's terrific. Applause is great. But it is not something I need, and I expect the opposite quite often. And when I do expect it, then I'm not surprised by it. And I'm not looking for any landslide. And even if I want a landslide, I'm still only going to get 53 or 54% of the people to approve of me. And the other 47 or 46% are not going to. And that is just the way things are. And the person who is free from erroneous zones is someone who knows how to accept things as they are.